World leaders are going down this morning, and Donald Trump is panicking. He's having a terrible Thursday. First, former Prince Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has been arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office as part of the Epstein files investigation. Police are now conducting searches at his properties after his arrest. The probe centers on allegations he shared confidential material with Epstein while serving as a trade envoy and other horrific, despicable conduct that we saw in the files. More news. World leaders falling, actual repercussions in other countries. Former South Korean insurrectionist President Yoon Suk-yeol has been sentenced to life in prison after a court found him guilty of leading an insurrection tied to his 2024 martial law declaration that triggered a constitutional crisis and military raid on the National Assembly. And the court was even saying, for things that are this egregious, it's not out of the question to even be considering things like the death penalty. That's how things are dealt with in other countries when there are insurrectionists who try to overthrow and topple governments and who engage in horrific conduct to little girls and other despicable things, but apparently not here in the United States. But I believe, and I know you believe, accountability is coming. Here's a statement from the family of Virginia Giuffre. At last, today, our broken hearts have been lifted at the news that no one is above the law, not even royalty, at the arrest of Andrew. On behalf of our sister, Virginia Roberts Giuffre, we extend our gratitude to the UK police for their investigation and arrest of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. He was never a prince. For survivors everywhere, Virginia did this for you. So as Scott Shapiro says, in the UK, Prince Andrew arrested. In South Korea, their former president Yoon sentenced to life. In Brazil, their former insurrectionist president Jair Bolsonaro serving a 20-year sentence, almost a life sentence there based on his age. And here in the United States, you have Donald Trump ranting and raving like a lunatic and suing the United States government so that taxpayers can give him $10 billion because our absurd and fascist right-wing Supreme Court here invented a doctrine called absolute immunity. Are you kidding me? As Julian Sanchez says. So the Supreme Court in the United States invented a fabricated out of thin air immunity doctrine. So they actually made American presidents less accountable than literal royalty, right? Our very Constitution was created as a reaction and in opposition to monarchies, and absolute immunity was inherently rejected in the founding of our Constitution. No kings. Even in the UK, though, they're saying kings and queens and princes and princesses, they can be stripped of their title and prosecuted for crimes over there, but apparently not here in the United States. Are you kidding me? And so what was Donald Trump doing this morning? I'm going to do another video on this ridiculous speech that Donald Trump gave in his fabricated Board of Peace. You know, he says he did his Board of Peace speech today, and he had a group of foreign leaders, mostly representing authoritarian regimes. Most nations with actual influence and power did not show up, and they ditched this thing, and they are not part of this corrupt organization. And so Trump's like, you know, Belarus is here, and we've got Javier Milei from Argentina, and we've got the leader of Bahrain over here. And this is the group that will be overseeing the United Nations. The Board of Peace sits on top of the United Nations, Donald Trump said. But while we're seeing accountability, at least in other countries, from the Epstein files, but as accountability, I believe, will be coming to the United States. What was Donald Trump saying at his Board of Peace meeting? What was he talking about? He was saying that he doesn't like handsome young guys, although he does love the YMCA song, apparently. But he says he really loves the young girls, he says. He says he really likes them young. And he says young, attractive women who I like. This is what he was saying at his Board of the Peace speech, that he likes the young ones, he said, young women he finds attractive. The hell? Here, play this clip.
But I was very proud of it. President Pena of Paraguay is here. President, thank you very much. Young, handsome guy. It's always nice to be young and handsome. Doesn't mean we have to like you. I don't like young, handsome men. Women, I like. Men, no, I don't have any interest. Good. That's right. That's right. Thank you very much. You're doing a great job, too.
And Donald Trump continued to talk about women and women being attractive at this Board of Peace speech. I can't believe I'm calling it the Board of, whatever the hell this thing is. He was trying to mock AOC's appearance and saying that she didn't know the answers to questions and that she went to a worse college than J.D. Vance. But he didn't know her name, so he just referred to her as the attractive woman, the young attractive woman. I mean, this guy is just so sick. Here, play this clip.
You know, most people, if you watch some of the people that were at the event in Munich, they didn't graduate quickly from college. They had everything they could do. There was one young, attractive woman. She was unable to answer questions. And she didn't do so well like J.D. did in college. J.D. graduated in a 4.5-year college in 2 years.
And speaking about so sick, you have Pete Hegseth right now and all these weird MAGA people posting these performative videos of themselves like lifting weights. I mean, we are on the precipice of a massive war with Iran. We have 2 aircraft carriers right now that's very close to Iran. At least we know from reporting in the Middle East that lots of countries are on war footing right now. And these are the videos that they are making. Here, play this clip.
All right, here we go. For the detail, 3 plates, got her on the spot. Long time coming. Let's see.
When your company is growing fast, order fulfillment can make or break your success. ShipStation's intelligence-driven platform brings order management, rate shopping, inventory and returns, warehouse systems, and comprehensive analytics all in one place, saving customers 15 hours per week on fulfillment. With ShipStation, everything you need to manage getting orders to customers is in one place. Connect to over 200 sales channels. Instead of 5 to 7 disconnected tools, you've got one. ShipStation compares rates across all major global carriers, USPS, UPS, and FedEx, including your own discounted rates if you have them, to find you the best shipping option on every order, with discounts up to 90% off. Have negotiated carrier rates? Bring them. Keep your discounts and add ShipStation's automation and intelligent features. Set up time-saving automations. ShipStation picks the best carrier, finds you the best rate, prints labels in bulk, sends tracking updates. Done. Sharing tracking details cuts customer service inquiries by 12%. Returns management gives you data on what's coming back and why. Analytics show where you're saving and where to optimize. Over 1 million businesses have trusted ShipStation, including our show. As someone with an e-commerce company, I can't tell you how much time shipping takes out of my day. With ShipStation, you can basically let your shipping go on autopilot because it's just that easy now. Try ShipStation free for 60 days with full access to all features, no credit card needed. Go to ShipStation.com and use code Meidas for 60 days for free. 60 days gives you plenty of time to see exactly how much time and money you're saving on every shipment. That's ShipStation.com, code Meidas. ShipStation.com, code Meidas. MEIDAS.
And Donald Trump got other really bad news this morning. He and J.D. Vance were the subject of a new Yahoo YouGov poll taken the past week. In a head-to-head matchup, if there were to be an election right now between Gavin Newsom and Donald Trump, Gavin Newsom would beat Donald Trump 48% to 42%. Frankly, that 42% for Donald Trump is way too high. Newsom versus J.D. Vance, Newsom would win 49% to 43%. And once again, that 43% is too high. But speaking of too high, Mile High Club, Kristi Noem and Corey Lewandowski. You want to see how they've been traveling around on the taxpayer dime? NBC's out with an exclusive. No expense has been spared. Take a look at the jet. It's this is like a private jet, $70 million that the taxpayers have been paying for. So when Kristi Noem and her side piece apparently has been described, that's what people are saying. Those are the allegations. Let's just be clear, allegations. But a lot of people are saying it, and a lot of people saying, anyway, they travel around the country. They direct ICE and Border Patrol to kill, torture, terrorize the American people. And here's their bed. Here's the bedroom that's in their private jet. They got flat screen TVs. Here's how NBC describes it. An executive jet, the Department of Homeland Security, has told the White House Office of Management and Budget it needs it for immigrant deportation flights and cabinet officials travel. Features a bedroom with a queen bed, showers, the shower, 4 large flat screen TVs, even a bar. Must be very nice, right? I mean, as Americans are psychologically tortured living paycheck to paycheck, if they're lucky enough to get a paycheck to begin with, as Americans can't afford homes, as they're getting their health care ripped away from them by this despicable regime, as masked fascist ICE agent Nazi SS are traveling the country, shooting and killing people, rounding people up, throwing them in concentration camps, torturing children, putting kids with bronchitis into detention centers and almost killing them, stealing the letters and drawings that little children are writing. While all of that is taking place, while all of that's going on, they're flying around in their private jets in the Trump regime with beds and queen beds, gallivanting around. Yeah, must be very nice. Want to see how other countries view us right now? The ones, that don't show up to the ridiculous Board of Peace meetings because it's illegitimate? Let's take a look at the latest poll from Politico. Look how much Canadians hate the United States now. Only 1/3 of Canadians actually believe the United States is an ally. 69% agrees that the U.S. tends to create problems for other countries rather than solve them. Only about 1 in 3 Canadians view the U.S. as an ally. And Canada views the biggest threat to Canada as the United States. 48% to 29% say Russia, 10% say China, 2% say the EU. I don't know if there's 2% who say the EU. But now, great work, Donald. Canada believes the biggest threat, and rightfully so, is you and is the United States, our former top ally to our north. Are you absolutely kidding me? And Donald Trump, I always love when Donald Trump's past posts surface like this one, when he wrote back on September 25th, 2013. Remember what I previously said. Obama will someday attack Iran in order to show how tough he is. Or remember when Donald Trump made this video when he said, our president will start a war because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. Here, play this clip.
Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. He's weak and he's ineffective.
Okay, Donald. Well, also, Donald Trump is posting that the trade deficit has been reduced by 78%, which is utterly false. Indeed, the true facts are the U.S. trade deficit widens. The U.S. trade deficit widened to $70.3 billion in December, pushing the full year gap to $901.5 billion, the largest since 1960, really, when the Commerce Department began aggregating this data. So that's not really good. That's not really a good fact. Also, I'll touch upon this more in the next video I do. But Ukrainian President Zelensky says the following about what went down in Geneva during those trilateral discussions with Ukraine, Russia, and the United States, where Russia just spent the entire time lecturing everybody, giving fake and fabricated historical accounts about why Ukraine belongs to Russia. There really shouldn't even be negotiations because they were reading historical treatises that are fabricated saying that Ukraine belongs to Russia. And this is what Zelensky writes. I don't need historical shit to end this war and move to diplomacy. It's just a delay tactic. I read no less history books than Putin, and I learned a lot. I know more about his country than he knows about Ukraine simply because I have been to Russia, to many cities, and I know the people here. He goes on to say that what we need to be talking about is not this historical lecture shit, this fabricated BS. Zelensky is just saying it how it is. He goes, we need to talk about ceasefires and actual peace deals and actual ways to resolve the war, not this stuff. And Zelensky's absolutely right. One other thing I want to point out is that you have the entire fabricated MAHA movement just so utterly, which is utterly BS and is utterly fabricated to begin with. Remember back in the day when RFK pretended that he was someone who was against herbicide glyphosate, and he was like, I'm the main guy who's against herbicide glyphosate. You know, the stuff they put in Roundup. Remember all the Roundup cases that RFK Jr. claimed that he was behind? Well, now Donald Trump issued an executive order that aims to help companies like the Roundup get immunity and to help put more glyphosate into these products, which have been known to cause cancer and known to cause a number of very serious issues. MAHA voters were promised health reform, not chemical entrenchment, a gift to pesticide and chemical industry lobbies at the expense of human health. As our editor-in-chief, Ron Filipkowski, says, yeah, MAHA was always a con. All these people are cons. They figure out issues that actually matter to the American people. They claim that they're the ones who are going to protect you, and they're the ones who screw you. That's what MAGA is. That's what Trump is. And I'm not just saying it. I'm not ranting and raving. I'm just showing you the receipts. This whole video was data. This fact, this video, right? Like, I'm just showing you the evidence, and you can decide for yourself when you see the evidence. But I think we need more of that versus just pundits out there giving you their opinions. Here's what it is. Judge for yourself. Anyway, hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million. Look how close we are to 6 million subscribers. I want to hit it this week. Let's try to hit 6 million subscribers this week. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.